Wow, it was lucky it didn't go everywhere when I threw that bag across the room.
It sure is. Thank you for sealing it together with your saliva, Luna. I will keep it over here.
So right in front of an open table spot where Luna can hop up and start chewing on it.
I will put it
in the middle of the recording.
Yeah, because she can't do that there.
No, she doesn't want to be near me.
She tolerates you.
When you're home. When you're not home, I don't know where she is. She fucking disappears.
Just seeing her yawn in the window in the background.
Like, I know when you come home because she'll appear from whatever cave she crawled into and bound happily towards the door because her favorite is home.
Toby slept in the bed with me while you were gone, but only because you weren't there and I was the poorest substitute.
But you know you can sleep in the bed with me too, right? I would prefer that. I want to cuddle with you. You know what else I want to cuddle with? A brand new episode of Soon to Be a Major Motion Podcast. The podcast where we watch movies that are based on books and read books that are turned into movies. I am Billy Beck.
I am Cody Beck.
And Cody, we've had a busy couple of weeks since we've last spoken.
We sure have.
Do you want to go first or shall I go first?
Yours was first chronologically, but you did more, so...
Yeah, but the chronologically makes sense to my autistic brain. So, I've talked on this podcast before about my love for Manchester City and my involvement with the local supporters group. Through that involvement, we've met some dear friends who happened to, I guess, have the personalities that meant they got reached out to. They regularly get reached out to by, like, club officials for social media campaigns and things of the like. And
they're attractive girls with social media presences.
Yeah, that.
Love you guys.
So they put together some materials that were used for a social media campaign. And as payment for that, were invited to a game in the Club World Cup, which took place in the United States. And they were asked, which game do you want to go to? And they said the game against Alain in Atlanta, because it's a weekend, want to take much time off work. Here's our information. Just let us know what the stuff is for travel and lodging. And the company they worked with said, cool, what about your plus ones? And they went, huh? Who? What? Huh? And realized our city group chat is 4 people. So I got sugar babied for a weekend in Atlanta. Flights and hotel and match tickets all paid for. Just had to pay for food and drinks, and a lot of drinks were had. Got to do karaoke at the ATL Citizens Bar the night before the game. Went to the game, we won 6-0. Sat down at a Margaritaville at 11 a.m. because that's who we are as people. Just like a couple days in Atlanta, but it was an exciting, wonderful weekend of footy and friends.
You got to see the Olympic Park?
I got to see the Centennial Park.
That's what it's called.
Where Richard Jewell got blamed for setting off a bomb one time.
Weirdly compelling movie.
Great movie. But that was the first Olympics I watched, was 1996. So being at Centennial Park, where that was like, happening, was really fucking cool. And also going to the Mercedes-Benz Arena Stadium, whatever they call it, to see a soccer game. That's like the 4th or 5th NFL stadium I've been in, and I have yet to go to an NFL game, which I think is pretty funny.
That is actually very weird to me.
Yeah, but no, it was a wonderful weekend. We had such a good time out there, and it sucks that City's out of the competition now, but what can you do? The team that has prevented Cristiano Ronaldo from winning trophies in Saudi Arabia just prevented City from winning one, so I get it. But yeah, that was my adventure in Atlanta. Cody, I believe you also had an evening out.
Yes. For my birthday, my lovely and thoughtful husband.
I should meet that guy. I keep hearing about him.
He bought me tickets to my favorite band. They're kind of what do you call them? TikTok teen girl pop?
Not teen girl pop, but because, a lot of fuck bombs in there. In her lyrics. But, TikTok girl rock?
Yes. My favorite band is King Mala, and she just dropped her first album. She's had a couple EPs, but this is her first album. It's a concept album. She was very excited about it. So she headlined the Troubadour. It was both of our first trips to the Troubadour. Mm-hmm. Really cool venue. Really small venue for how, legendary it is.
like, I've always heard stories of, like, oh, remember that time John Lennon and Ringo Starr got kicked out of the Troubadour for heckling the Smothers Brothers? And it's just, like, a tiny room with a stage in it and a bar in the back.
Yeah, like, we got there. I actually... So we took the public transit system in LA, which was Bill's first time on the buses, which was hysterical, because I used to take the bus to work. So it was just, like, teaching him the ins and outs of the bus.
In the door in the front, out the door in the back.
Yeah, look
I've
at you.
learned.
And then I forgot my wallet. So I didn't realize I'd forgotten my wallet until they were checking IDs at the door. And thank God the guy was just like, well, looks like you aren't drinking tonight. And they still let me in. So that's what I was worried about.
They were just checking for wristbands for alcohol. It's an 18 and up venue and you were clearly over 18.
Rude.
I still think it would have been funny if you would have been like, let me tell you where I was on 9/11.
We were like trying to come up with things that would be like, I promise you, look at my eyes, they're dead.
I remember the debut of SpongeBob. Like, come on.
So we were right up against the stage, which was really cool. We got there like pretty early, but not like super. We weren't the first people
15, 20 minutes after doors, maybe?
Yeah, so we weren't the first people in by any means. But she actually had opener Julia Cooper, who did some vocals for the album. I didn't know anything about Julia Cooper, but apparently she was on The Voice and did well enough to get to whatever their, like, quarterfinals are.
Incredible voice.
Yeah.
She's an amazing voice.
Yeah. And then Desi got the entire place to chant Fuck Ice, which was beautiful.
Among other things.
Among other things. I didn't realize how much of Desi's music I knew until I was singing it directly making eye contact with her, which was really cool.
What was extra funny about that was you and Desi are flirting, and Desi's girlfriend was the MC of the night.
Yes. Who then popped up on my fucking TikTok, who I'd never seen before.
That's right.
And then, of course, King Mala comes out. She does end up performing the entire album, along with several of my favorite of her other songs from previous EPs, etc.
She had to play Cult Leader.
Of course. Yeah, that's her new fucking...
It's the one song of hers I know.
Yeah. It's so funny, because I was introduced to that by Abria Iyengar using it for a fucking D&D character intro. So, you know what? On brand. But yeah, I highly recommend the album if you want to find her on Spotify or somewhere else that isn't atrocious where your music can be found.
What's the name of the album, Cody?
It is called And You Who Drowned in the Grief of a Golden Thing, and it's about a succubus demon possessing someone.
I think she's really going to appreciate the maximum 20 extra listens she gets from our podcast audience.
Listen, okay?
I love plugging shit bigger than us. It's fun.
But I had a blast. It was a wonderful night spent with my favorite person in the world.
Who's that? I'll kill him.
You assume it's a man? Have you ever met me?
Good point. Who is she? I want to meet her. I need to approve. You know what else happened in the last week?
What?
A new film came out as we're recording this yesterday. And it's the latest in the Jurassic Park franchise.
Oh?
Yeah, a franchise that we know some of.
Yeah, we talked about that.
It was a pretty early episode for us. We talked about Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And you know what? Michael Crichton, after the success of that movie, wrote a sequel to Jurassic Park.
No way.
Yeah. In fact, that book that you've been reading all week, that is on the table next to you, is that sequel.
Wait, the book that has a dinosaur skull on the cover and says something has survived on the back of it is a sequel?
So I didn't know that when I mentioned that it wasn't on the podcast last time. I thought it was an unrelated book that Spielberg and company molded into the Jurassic Park landscape, but apparently not. It's an actual sequel to Jurassic Park.
You know what's funny? I think we actually talked about it on the original episode, because I think we talked about the death of one of the characters.
Probably. I know the little girl getting attacked by compies came up in that episode.
Yes. Yeah, because that was from the first book. That was from Jurassic Park.
Yeah. So I figured, since we just did Spielberg's Jaws, Spielberg had other blockbusters, including Jurassic Park, which we've already covered. So Crichton did a sequel. Spielberg famously said, what did he say, the sequels were trash? I deleted the... the quote.
And sequels
Sequels are like a magic trick or something. He had to listen to our last episode on Jaws. I mentioned that quote from Spielberg about how sequels are bad. And he went and did one in 97 anyway, of The Lost World Jurassic Park. So, shall we watch a trailer?
Mommy! Daddy! I found something!
A British family on a yacht cruise stumbled upon Site B.
And now it's only a matter of time before this lost world is found and pillaged.
Hopefully we've kept this island quarantined and contained, but I'm in shock about all this. Ooh, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and then screaming.
The hell was that?
Go. As fast as you can.
I need you to send rescue immediately.
Taking dinosaurs off this island is the worst idea in history of bad ideas.
Let's get this movable feast underway. Don't move!
What is it?
Mommy's very angry.
A young T-Rex couple on Isla Sorna is doing their best to raise a child until those pesky humans come along. The child is kidnapped and used as bait for its parents, who take righteous revenge on the humans by destroying their equipment and killing quite a few. The father is kidnapped by the survivors and shipped to a foreign land where he will become a tourist attraction. After another justifiable rampage, he is led back to his child on the boat and returned to his home where the family can live in peace.
Would you believe me if I said that's a more accurate summary of the book than the movie?
I mean, that's a pretty accurate summary of the movie as well. I'm not going to lie to you. So, where do we begin with The Lost World Jurassic Park?
I kind of want to begin with the most inflammatory part of my questioning about why this movie was made.
Okay.
Or how this movie was made and the changes.
Sure.
Why does Steven Spielberg hate women?
Huh. I don't have anything in my notes for that.
So maybe you will have some thoughts after I explain why I say that.
Okay.
Because, like, honestly, in Jurassic Park, the swapping of Lex and Tim's ages to make Lex kind of the older, more powerful character is well done. And, of course, you have Laura Dern, who's great as...
Ellie Sattler?
Ellie Sattler, thank you. Could not find her name. You have Ellie Sattler. Her fucking outfit is iconic. The running away from the raptors and the fighting of the raptors is iconic. So, Sarah Harding in the movie is a...
So, full disclosure, you watched the movie with me mostly last night.
Yes, I did. Because I had actually never seen the whole movie before. I had only seen the third act. So, Sarah Harding in the movie is Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore, you know her from Boogie Nights, The Fugitive, and from the Mockingjay movies.
And she is a paleontologist herself?
She is a paleontologist. I know that in the novel she was an animal behaviorist.
Yes. She was also significantly younger than Ian Malcolm, was, at the time of the novel, very importantly, no longer in a romantic relationship with him. And most importantly, she is the badass bitch of this novel that gets everything done and makes sure more people don't die. Her character is fucking useless in the movie in comparison. Sarah Harding saves... So you know the scene where they're dangling off of the cliff?
Yeah.
Sarah carries Malcolm because his leg is fucked up and he can't move.
Again?
Yes!
He fucks up his leg again?
It's the same leg! When he falls, he hits when they get pushed over the cliff, he hits either the captain's chair, the driver's seat, or one of the lab tables and fucking splits his thigh open. So he's high on morphine for significant portion of the book.
So I feel like that specific change was made because Jeff Goldblum was like the best character in the first one.
So that's another thing. I don't know if I've talked about Game of Thrones on here before.
It's come up.
So famously, the showrunners of Game of Thrones wanted to do the Red Wedding, and it's really clear that once they did the Red Wedding, they were kind of done playing with the toy that they had, and they were just like, shit, we have to, like, cram out the rest of this real quick. They are also relatively well known for kind of taking all of the bits that they don't like about certain characters and removing them from the show so that you kind of neuter the entire narrative. They did that with the movie and the book. Obviously, you're going to have to simplify some things. There are a lot more characters in the book. There's a lot more darker themes. So to an extent, I understand kind of cutting or combining some characters. But basically, Ian in the first movie, Jeff Goldblum in the first movie, is doing the exact same thing that he did in the novel here, which was lay on a table and spout witticisms and talk about chaos theory.
Mm-hmm.
But they turned him into an action hero who's a great dad.
Would a great dad accidentally traffic their child to an island full of dinosaurs off the coast of Costa Rica?
Okay, fair point.
He hands her a slip of paper. It's like, go to this address. She's very nice, I promise you. And this little girl's like, fucking no. I'm gonna hide in this trailer.
So that's another thing. It's 2 kids in the book.
Mm-hmm.
In the first movie, they didn't include Biosyn, who's like the others. They kind of tangentially included Biosyn because
Biosyn is present because of Dodgson. But
Yes.
That's it. You just know that they have a competitor.
So the entire book is Dodgson is the evil lawyer. The evil lawyer in the movie is Dodgson's role in the book. Dodgson shows up because he's trying to harvest the InGen technology, and he's been doing corporate espionage on the people that are actually going to the island.
So the military group is the Biosyn group in the novel.
Correct. It's also there's no military group. It is 4 people.
Oh, it's 2 teams of 4?
Yes.
No wonder you were complaining about a low body count.
Yeah. So, okay. It's supposed to be 2 teams of 4. The first team ends up being 6 because of the children that stow away.
I don't count them. It does say in the rules that a child can't be part of the team.
So, it's supposed to be 2 teams of 4. The first team, it may actually only be a team of 3. The Biosyn team may only be 3 because it's King, who is the unwitting lackey to Dodgson, and the third guy that's with them, who I genuinely don't remember. Oh, he's the PR guy who just wanted to see dinosaurs.
Fucking capitalists.
He's basically the one that's been whitewashing the image of Biosyn and, like, talking shit on InGen in the public to make Biosyn look better, even though they're objectively worse. And he gets murdered by a T-Rex.
Okay.
The first time they go to the nest, because Michael Crichton was very clearly making a joke about the first movie, because the guy is like, oh, well, if you stand still, they can't see you.
It does not work.
It does not work, and he gets eaten, and that's also how they break the baby T-Rex's leg, is Dodgson kicks it while climbing out of the pit while Basilton is getting eaten. So you have that team of 3 who their whole goal is just to get the eggs. You have the other team, the Jeff Goldblum team, which is Ian Malcolm, Eddie Carr.
Mm-hmm. Who's the equipment guy?
He is actually the junior equipment guy. There's somebody else who is Thorne. I can't remember his first name, but he is the primary equipment guy. Eddie Carr is the Deus Ex Machina because he builds a bunch of mechanical shit into all of the electrical vehicles that saves their asses when the electrical fails. and then there's
Vince Vaughn.
He is not in the book.
There's no Nick Van Owen?
There is no Nick Van Owen.
What the fuck, Spielberg?
The closest character, like, they kind of split and lump Sarah Harding and Richard Levine, who is the guy who starts all of this, because he's the one who discovers Site B and has to go there and tries to go there to collect evidence about these animals, because he has a theory about evolution that he wants to prove. The problem is, at the end of the novel, the big reveal is that these dinosaurs, the carnivores specifically, were provided sheep extract, which is notoriously unstable, and they don't give it to zoo animals because it causes prion diseases. So all of these carnivores, and the reason that the whole island is so fucked up is because of the fact that all these dinosaurs are dying of prion diseases because they're all infected.
Huh.
So you can't actually draw any conclusions about their behavior.
Interesting. Because if it feels like, and this is actually documented, that one of the central themes of the movie is the behavior of these animals, specifically the familial, like the parental behavior. And that's a point that I know is in the novel as well as in the film. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the things I wanted to talk about. Because as I was watching, I noticed that the T-Rexes act more like what we expect a family to act like than the family we get on screen. And I think this is part of your original complaint about the neutering of Sarah Harding. Is I think that Spielberg and the screenwriter, David Koepp? Yeah, David Koepp, Koepp. I'm going to pronounce it Koepp. If I'm wrong, sue me. Don't sue me. I have nothing to gain for you by suing me. But I think what they wanted to do is mirror that, where the T-Rex child gets kidnapped and injured, and they are, justifiably out there for revenge, which is what you and I would do if something happened to Luna or Toby.
Yes, absolutely.
Meanwhile, we're seeing this broken human family of Ian Malcolm with his daughter from a previous relationship who happens to be black, and it's not really mentioned.
One of the two children in the novel are Sarah and Arby. Arby is black.
Kelly and Arby.
Sorry, Kelly. Yes, Kelly.
Okay.
Yeah, Arby is black, and importantly, so is Sarah Harding. Sarah Harding is from Africa.
That is not Julianne Moore.
Correct. She's also supposed to be like my age, which for reference is like in her 30s.
Yeah.
She's supposed to have just finished her graduate shit.
But anyway, the human family dynamic we see is a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship between Malcolm and Harding that is loosely based on the fact that she's gone all the time.
Uh-huh.
And this single parent to not quite stepmom, but like glorified babysitter. Because when she has to go to, I think her name's Karen's house.
Yes.
Kelly says, why can't I stay with Sarah? I like Sarah. She lets me do things. And she mentions that she has Sega. Like, yes. So it's...
She doesn't even have Sega.
It's like a weird, like, modern... not American per se, but pretty American family dynamic there. And just the mirroring of the two, where I'm thinking of the hide scene / the trailer scene, where Ian leaves his actual daughter to help out his girlfriend to get the child dinosaur out of the trailer. Like, and
then they kind of flip that later when they're being chased, and he grabs Kelly and lets Sarah get fucking chased.
Yeah. And then there's another scene later where the Vince Vaughn character is with Sarah and Kelly, and Goldblum's off doing his own shit for a minute, right before the cave scene. Mm-hmm. And then he comes back in, and it's just interesting that, like, we're watching these two dinosaur parents do everything in their power to protect their young, and while to an extent he's doing the same, he's not doing it in the same way.
Yeah.
And it's just an interesting dynamic to look at the film through.
So, in the book, it's interesting, because Crichton is usually really, really tight about his, like, points, but he kind of contradicts himself with his points, because what he's using these dinosaurs to do, what he does with the T-Rexes is the paleontologists in his novel are all talking about how the T-Rexes are proving that dinosaurs had these familial instincts. And they were innate, and they were taking care of their babies, and that's why their babies are, like, well taken care of, that's why all the shit happens, etc. But you contrast that with the velociraptors. And the velociraptors are more like, I think you would compare them now to like lions, which are males eat first, females eat second, and babies get whatever the fuck they can grab at the end. But the point he makes with the velociraptors is that they're that way because they were created and didn't have any models for how, like, there was no models for how they were supposed to behave. There weren't models for the T-Rexes either.
Yeah.
You can't have... He's basically saying, like, nature versus nurture and saying, like, oh, T-Rexes have a good nature, but velociraptors are purely evil.
Yeah.
Which, I mean... To be fair, if I had a 6-inch to 13-inch stabbing toenail that I would just use to murder people with when I wanted to...
I'd be out of money to bail you out of jail.
I would probably also be evil. But, like, that's the thing that confused me, is I'm like, you can't say that velociraptors are evil by nature because they didn't have anyone to show them how velociraptors actually acted, but then have the T-Rexes being good parents because that's how T-Rexes actually acted.
Yeah, that's a strange point to try and make there.
Especially considering that in the first book, we saw velociraptors being great fucking parents!
Listen, he was under a lot of pressure from the publisher to get a sequel out. The movie did really well, he had to do it. And I mean, honestly, that's kind of what happened. But yeah, I mean, I might as well talk about the production, like, from that perspective, because basically... The movie did so well that Universal wanted a sequel. How could they not? It was, like, broke box office records across the board. Jurassic Park did.
Yeah.
But Spielberg didn't want to do it unless Crichton wrote another novel. So apparently, the three of them brainstormed ideas for the novel. So Spielberg and David Koepp had a hand in that. As well as Joe Johnston, who wound up directing Jurassic Park 3, was ready to jump in and do this one in case Spielberg didn't do it.
Okay. I can kind of see, like, some of the weird things that happen in the novel. I can kind of see this having other hands in it besides Crichton's.
Yeah.
Granted, at this point, I have only read Jurassic Park and the Lost World by him, but I can tell that this was less Chaos Theory 2, I have more to say, and more... Fuck, they keep adding zeros to the check, and I'm so tired.
He was also at a point in his career where everything he was writing was getting filmed.
The other thing that's extra funny is that a significant portion of the book is the other characters getting annoyed with Levine, and you saying that, like, Spielberg was like, well, I'm not gonna do it if Crichton won't do it, makes me think that Levine was low-key Spielberg, like a Spielberg insert, because they're basically... The character is basically like, I am the best at what I do and everyone else is wrong and I'm going to prove it.
Crichton, like, had nothing to do with the movie. He was like, I don't have the quote, I didn't pull the quote, but he basically said something along the lines of, once the book is published, it's out of my hands, it's Steve's now, he can just, I'm over it, I'm moving on.
Fair enough.
Which, from my research, it seems like it was less Spielberg's and more David Koepp's.
Okay.
So
it could be an amalgamation of either.
Yeah, so basically Spielberg and Koepp got together, read the novel. I think Koepp read it 6 times. And pulled elements they liked that they thought would work really well in the movie. Specifically, Island Full of Dinosaurs and the trailer over the cliff scene. They also liked the familial aspects of it, but everything else they kind of just made up as they went along.
Yeah, the one death that is the same in the movie and the book is the method of the person that gets eaten by the T-Rex and the baby. It happens at the end both times, and it is a hunting lesson for the baby both times. But that
you're talking about the part where I was cheering?
Yes.
At the
that
end,
is
in the
literally what happens is so Sarah and Dodgson are under a car because the T-Rex is coming, and Dodgson tried to kill Sarah earlier. So they're both under the car together, hiding from the T-Rex, but it can smell them. And it's from Sarah's point of view, and she's like, I know what I have to do. So she braces herself against the wheel well and pushes Dodgson out towards the T-Rex's mouth. And he's, like, grabbing at her feet, trying to hold on, but it's muddy and horrible. And so the T-Rex picks him up and carries him away. And then it switches to his point of view. And he's like, why hasn't it eaten me yet? It's not crushing me. It's not eating me. Why isn't it doing it? So then it takes him to the T-Rex mound. And the reader at this point realizes what's going to happen because you saw it happen with another dinosaur earlier when they were observing. So it drops Dodgson in front of the babies, because there are 2 of them now, and Dodgson notices the splint on the one baby's leg. And the first baby's like, he tries to walk away, and the T-Rex, they don't clarify which one is which. They're just like, one of them knocks him down again. And then, so he tries to get up and run away again after the babies start, like, biting at him. And that's when the T-Rex grabs him by the leg, crushes his leg, and drops him in front of the babies again. And that's when the babies successfully kill him. And you are in his head as the baby removes it.
Awesome.
It's one of my favorite deaths.
Sidebar. When that novel came out, do you think the sex pest Cameron Thor, who played Dodgson in the original, read the novel and then just sat by his phone waiting for a call that never came?
I feel like he probably did. Dodgson is all over this one.
And he is nowhere to be seen in the film. And you know what? Good looking out, Steve. Good looking out. You said something when we were watching the movie. And it was one of the early scenes in the first act when... Oh, speaking of deaths, by the way. Another sidebar. Hammond's death in the first book.
Yes.
The Peter Stormare character, Dieter, gets Hammond's death in this movie. It was meant to be that death.
Yes. He shouldn't have been panicking, though. That's my only complaint, is that the whole point of the compies and their venom is that you don't fight them. You're just chilling. That's why Hammond's death is so fucking brutal, because you as the audience know what's happening, and he's just talking about how he's having a lovely dream.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that never made the films. But anyway, when we were watching the film, an early scene, Malcolm meets with Hammond, and he, convinces him to go on this trip by telling him Sarah's already there, basically.
Yes.
And you were like, that's like a third of the book already done.
Yes.
So I can't remember if I said this out loud or I just thought it, but it had very, when do we get to the fireworks factory energy? like just a kid in the backseat, like, hurry up, I want to see the dinosaurs. So I found something in my research.
Oh, did you?
When David Koepp was writing this, it was well known enough, because I think he was like the highest paid screenwriter in Hollywood at the time. I think he's at the point, like, the number 4th highest grossing screenwriter in history because of Jurassic Park and some of his other, like, big pictures, like the Mission Impossible and Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So people knew he was working on this. So he would get letters from kids with ideas. And one that he actually hung on his monitor while he was typing out the screenplay said, quote, "As long as you have the T-Rex and the Velociraptor, everything else is fine. But whatever you do, don't have a long, boring part at the beginning that has nothing to do with the island."
Children just don't appreciate
The
subtleties of a thriller and mounting dread the way they used to.
A literal child, or perhaps a 30-year-old nerd with bad handwriting, told David Koepp, hurry up and get to the fireworks factory, and he said, all right, bet. He actually is quoted as saying, quote, "We had thoroughly explored the questions about the philosophy of doing the island stuff. Quote, we had thoroughly explored those questions in the first movie, so I didn't want to return to them. The Lost World is less philosophical and more about basic survival." So he tried to warrant that decision with, we did that in the other one. Now we're just going to do, like, an action survival film.
Yeah, it does... That does make sense in the terms of watching it, because you're not necessarily making a thriller where you want that slow mounting dread. You're making an action movie.
Yeah.
You want to see the fucking dinosaurs.
It's less alien, more aliens.
Yes.
Which is hilarious, because the cinematographer was the cinematographer from Alien.
Oh my god.
Which is why it's like... I saw multiple sources say it's Spielberg's darkest film. Motherfucker made Schindler's List. It's his second darkest film, okay? Fucking be real here, you crazy fucking people. But so, yeah, that's why it looks the way it does as well.
So, yes, the structure of the book is different, and again, I think it goes down to the tone. Both Jurassic Park and The Lost World are straight-up horror novels. Hence where I was describing gleefully the man witnessing his own death multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
So, if you're trying to turn that into a kind of straightforward action movie and not quite dwell on the horrifying aspects of it or the existential aspects of it, I understand why you would alter the pace, but it is a completely different experience. The book definitely does have more of the basic survival, and it is more like you're getting ready to go on a survivalist camping trip as opposed to, we're going to go to a theme park. That is in the first one, and that's kind of like where that juxtaposition comes in. It really feels like Michael Crichton was like, there's a lot of people that really thought Jurassic Park was a good idea. Let's write about how even with all of the most fucking prepared people in the world, people who have studied this for decades and know exactly what they're doing and are hardcore survivalists, they're still gonna get their shit rocked in an island of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
We are not equipped as modern humans to deal with dinosaurs. Jurassic Park is a bad idea. Don't invent the Torment Nexus.
But unfortunately, with a sequel to one of the most successful films of all time at the time, the capitalism has to happen.
Of course.
One of the biggest sponsors in terms of product placement on this film was Mercedes-Benz. It was their first sport utility vehicle. Is the one that all of the InGen military simulator guys are driving.
It was a Jeep in the book.
Yeah, I mean, it was a Jeep in the original. But Mercedes just dropped this. I think they even gifted one to Goldblum, which he still drove up to, like, at least 2011. Like, that was his personal car, was a free Mercedes he got for doing this movie.
Listen,
but
if you get a free Mercedes...
You're going to use the free Mercedes. It's a free Mercedes. But, like, I was even commenting last night how cool the scene is. Like, not that they're hunting the dinosaurs, but I was like, this is fucking cool that they, built these fucking rigs on these cars and stuff. There's a cool factor to that.
Yeah.
That really defeats the purpose of, it's terrifying, or on an island of dinosaurs are going to die. It really undercuts the point.
And even those people, when you remove them from their toys, they get fucking wrecked. They get one-on-one murked in the long fucking grass.
So, because you had mentioned you were disappointed with the body count after you finished the book. I decided
5 in the book.
I decided to tally. And I couldn't look at the screen during that scene. I just let you call them out as I was marking the... Because as they're running, getting murked by velociraptors, it's like 6-7 dudes in that one scene.
Yeah.
In addition to the other, it's 13 total plus 1 velociraptor.
So, one of the things that I think is funny and absurd, and I am definitely reading too much into this, but it also feels like maybe Michael Crichton was going, just kind of side-eyeing everyone. The whole point of this observation is that they're supposed to fuck nothing up. They are not supposed to change anything about the island. They're just there to observe. That's why all of their stuff is supposed to be like this low impact, nothing is changing anything. But just by being on the island, they have affected the island. Because Richard Levine shows up first, and he's there like 2 or 3 days before everybody else. And the guy that he goes there with, his guide, gets murdered on the first day. That's the first death in the book, and it's like 110 pages in. And then later, they're in the hide, and they've all just been chilling up there. They are trying to be as minimal impact as possible. But to test the wind, he takes a bit of a candy bar wrapper and, like, lets it flutter to see which direction the wind is going in.
Was it a full-sized crackle bar, or was that just for the film?
That was just for the film. But they then watch a guy get murdered by a pack of velociraptors. This is the third guy from the Biosyn team. And he notes by watching them that one of the velociraptors like takes something out of the guy's pocket and is like holding it in its little hands and seems to be enjoying it. And he realizes it's a candy bar. The guy, because you're also seeing this guy from the guy who was getting eaten's perspective. He had just unwrapped the candy bar and was getting ready to eat it when he got murdered by the velociraptors.
Oh no, they developed a taste for chocolate!
So later, when they're walking by, they're going by and everyone in the thing is like, fuck, we need to be as quiet as possible. We do not want to attract the attention of these velociraptors. The last one in line notices the little bit of candy wrapper that he dropped to test the wind and looks up and realizes there's people.
Oh my god.
Because it's also demonstrating the intelligence of the raptors in that they realize our environment is different.
If I can quote your DM, oh god, they're learning! Literally just a joke for Mark.
Yeah.
Night of a 1,000 Cats.
Oh god.
That's a terrible movie.
So yeah, I also think that was maybe Michael Crichton's little bit of saying, product placement. Don't you like how this feels? He doesn't specify a specific candy bar, which is why I think I might be looking into it a little hard, but also...
I mean, there was a lot of product placement in this film, especially the San Diego sequence.
It feels like this was the era of product placement, like really exploding.
Yeah, I mean, it had been around, but I feel like this is the era when filmmakers realized that audiences weren't really gonna complain. We obviously noticed. I notice every time. Like, when we watch Fast and Furious and Mr. Nobody pulls out a bucket of Corona and it looks like a fucking commercial. Like, oh my god, Corona paid to have that in there. But then it just becomes a joke of like, yeah, Dominic Toretto loves Corona. Don't try to give him a bud. He will shoot you in the head.
Or, good guys always have iPhones.
That is no longer the case. But for a long time, Apple would not allow the villain in a story to use an iPhone. They would not approve it. But, like, anything Sony Pictures makes, they all have Sony phones and Sony laptops. Like, any Spider-Man movie, you see that shit.
He uses fucking Bing.
Oh, yeah. Well, someone must, I assume. But yeah, it's like, even in the San Diego sequence, the dude gets chased by the T-Rex into a fucking blockbuster.
And all the fake movies, we were laughing at
Oh,
those.
the King Lear starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And there was one that was Robin Williams' Jack, but it was Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yes.
And there's a third one I don't remember, but I did have a good laugh at those because they were fake.
Yes.
They were jokes.
The 76.
The 76 ball rolling by, like, fucking... Oh, the irony of oil being dinosaur bones. I'm surprised it wasn't a Sinclair gas station.
Honestly...
They have the dinosaur logo and everything.
Yeah.
But they don't have a big ball you can roll by Jeff Goldblum's whatever fancy car that was.
That is supposed to be a callback to Levine's red car. It's supposed to be a Porsche in the...
Okay, it probably was. I just didn't recognize it.
Honestly, I thought it was a Benz. I thought it had the...
You know what? It might have been a Mercedes. I wonder if that's the Mercedes that he kept.
Oh, maybe.
It might be. I don't know. I should have researched more. So about let's address the elephant in the room, or the T-Rex in the street, if you will. San Diego. How is that sequence handled in the book?
Huh?
Exactly. So
it ends with them getting off the island.
First of all, when you were reading, were you waiting for that to happen? Because you had seen that section of the film before.
No, I was not waiting because I was like, Michael Crichton wouldn't write something that stupid.
Okay, fair enough.
Or what I expected is that it was going to be like a cliffhanger, and it was going to be like the
cliffhanger was in the middle with the trailer. We already talked about that.
Boo. I thought that he was going to maybe have something where like Dodgson succeeded in getting an egg, or like there would be like the hint of the idea. But honestly, when I saw that their idea was they were going to take eggs off the island, I was like, that's where they got that idea from. Yeah. I didn't expect to see San Diego here.
So, basically, Spielberg wanted to do dinosaurs in a city because he knew that was the natural progression of that story.
Yeah.
You start with a glorified zoo that breaches containment. It gets bigger, it's an island. The next thing, they're on the mainland, right? And he and David Koepp spent like a year debating whether or not to do it in this movie or wait for the third one. And like 2 months before they started filming, Spielberg was like, I am not doing a third one of these. We're doing it now. So he had 2 months. Koepp had 2 months to rewrite the script to make it make sense for the San Diego bit.
And he did not succeed.
Yeah, nah. It feels tacked on. Because like when they're leaving on the helicopter, it's like 96 minutes into the movie. Perfect place to end it.
Every other movie ends in the helicopter.
Yeah, the first one ends there. The third one ends there. I don't remember how World ends, and I haven't seen the 3 sequels to World.
World, I believe, also ends in the helicopter.
Okay. It makes perfect sense. You edit it, you cut it there, done. You don't need the San Diego rampage. But Spielberg wanted to do it. I guess he felt the audiences expected it. So we got San Diego. I always remembered it being the San Diego Zoo specifically. But it's not. It's its own thing.
I feel like it's because the Jurassic Park is supposed to be part of San Diego Zoo, which honestly...
No, it's not. It's supposed to be separate.
I thought it was supposed to be an
No.
extension of the preserve.
No. It's its own thing. They started building it when the first park was opening.
Okay.
And then, Hammond started building it and then abandoned it and built the first park instead.
Okay. I'm gonna level with you here. I know that I had a rant about how you're gonna fucking die. We're not modern. In the modern world, we are not equipped to experience dinosaurs. We cannot experience them in any safe way. We lost a war to the emus.
No, we didn't. The Australians did.
I've read 2 books now about how dinosaurs in modern times is a bad idea. If they successfully created Jurassic Park, I would be there day fucking one. I would pet a goddamn baby T-Rex. I would play with a velociraptor. If they had the ability for us to take our own home, I would, and then I would subsequently die when the velociraptor was big enough. I know it's a bad idea, but oh my god, I want to go to Jurassic Park so fucking bad.
I mean... I get it.
I understand why one of the diagnostic criteria for autism is do you like dinosaurs?
I mean, they had a dinosaur autist in the movie.
They did!
The dude on the military team that was in the flannels with the hat and the beard, that dude, he was just a dinosaur autist.
Yep.
Loved that guy. He got too afraid of a snake and died by dinosaur. But, I mean, how many times watching the movie did we say something like, that would be great in an actual amusement park?
A lot.
Like, this area would be great for a queue going to a ride. This section would be a great ride in and of itself. Like, it's got a cool factor to it. Yeah. And unfortunately, like, we talked about this with Fight Club way back in the day. You can't make it cool, or people aren't going to get what you're saying, and they're going to think the cool thing is cool.
At long last, we have finally created the Torment Nexus from sci-fi author's famous book, Don't Create the Torment Nexus.
Exactly. So should we talk about the people involved in this a little bit?
Yeah.
Alright, so we already talked about Steven Spielberg plenty of times. You know, like 6 episodes of the pod previously. Find them, it's fucking Steven Spielberg. Talked a bit about David Koepp and what he's done. Ian Malcolm, as we've mentioned, played by Jeff Goldblum. He did The Fly, Independence Day, one of my favorite movies, Grand Budapest Hotel. Watched that the other night and cried. Beautiful film. Love it to death. Sarah Harding, played by Julianne Moore. Mentioned her already. Roland. We didn't talk about Roland at all. So, in the film version, instead of having the Biosyn team, you have the second InGen team, which is led by a big game hunter named Roland.
He's clearly the equivalent of the Velociraptor clever girl guy from the first one.
Yeah. Mixed with the dude who chases Alan around in Jumanji.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of English colonizer. You mentioned the Tarzan white people.
Yeah,
he's got that vibe to him.
At some point during this movie, I was just like, is this just Tarzan? But like 2 years earlier?
Anyway, he was played by Pete Postlethwaite, who was also in previous episode James and the Giant Peach. He was the narrator.
Ah, yes. That explains why his voice was so familiar.
He was also in Romeo plus Juliet, and he was in Inception.
Okay.
Peter Ludlow, another character I haven't mentioned yet. He is Hammond's nephew. And he basically takes over InGen, and he's the one trying to get them out of bankruptcy by opening this park on the mainland.
Yes, he's the replacement for Louis Dodgson in the movie.
Yeah. He is played by Arliss Howard, who was also in Full Metal Jacket, future episode of the pod, maybe, if I can force you to read it, Moneyball, and The Time Traveler's Wife, which I think is also based on a book.
It is, indeed.
All right. Nick Van Owen, we mentioned, played by Vince Vaughn, who was also in Dodgeball, Wedding Crashers, Swingers.
Weird that he survives the movie, by the way.
Yeah, but he has nothing to do in San Diego.
Yeah.
And finally, Eddie Carr was played by Richard Schiff. He's one of those, oh, it's that guy?
Yes.
He was in Hudsucker Proxy, Sesevenin, Geostorm.
Oh god, he was a Geostorm?
Geostorm, baby. His credits list is so fucking long, and it's all like transit operator, janitor. He's just like got one of those faces. So it's gonna see a character actor like that have a pretty meaty role in this.
Yeah.
Now, this being a movie that's almost 30 years old, and featuring 2 children in pretty big roles, kind of, it's time to return to Where Are They Now?
Woo!
Kelly, Jeff Goldblum's daughter, was played by...
Ian Malcolm's daughter,
Ian
not
Malcolm's
Jeff
daughter.
Goldblum.
Ian Malcolm's daughter, thank you, was played by Vanessa Lee Chester. Previously appeared on the pod in Harriet the Spy as Janie.
Oh, okay.
Her breakout was Lost World Jurassic Park. She continues to work in Hollywood. She is a founding volunteer for an organization called Auditions Our Work, which is a group of union actors whose mission is to remind union actors that you get paid for auditions even if you don't book the role.
All right.
SAG-AFTRA is supposed to make half day rate for an audition if they don't book.
Fascinating.
And not enough, like, this has been in their contract since the fucking 40s, and not enough actors even know. I didn't know that was a thing till today. I was never SAG, so I can't, like, start yelling at motherfuckers for my failed auditions, but I probably should get something for that Glee audition.
Yeah.
I worked. I had self-tape on that. Like, yeah, like, an Orange is the New Black. That was SAG. I should have a couple day rates sent to me. They owe me $800. Netflix. But yeah, that's a thing. And that's like their whole mission is like, hey, don't forget, you don't book it, you should get paid. If you don't get paid, here's how to file a complaint. Here's how to get your money.
All right.
Awesome work she's doing. Respect the fuck out of that. Our other Where Are They Now is the little girl who played Kathy. The girl who gets attacked by compies in the opening scene.
Oh, I forgot about her.
Camilla Bell. She followed up her assault by compy in The Lost World by playing young Sandra Bullock in Practical Magic.
Oh my god, okay.
They both previously appeared on our podcast. She continued as an actress into adulthood and also did a lot of modeling for advertisements, including she was the face of Vera Wang's Princess in the late aughts. She did some ads for Cotton Incorporated, you know, the fabric of our lives. That was her for a bit.
Okay.
And Nespresso. And she also previously dated Joe Jonas and Tim Tebow, so read into that what you will. Oh. Yeah. I saw some focus on the family work in her IMDb as well, so...
Ooh, don't like that.
Yeah. I looked up the actor who played Benjamin as well. He's the little kid who sees the T-Rex out his window in San Diego, and I couldn't find shit on him.
This is his only credit.
No, he worked until like 2011, but after that it's just fucking silence. I couldn't find any Where Are They Now articles. His Instagram, if it was his Instagram, is private. I have no idea what's up with him.
All right.
But I tried. In regards to some of those roles, most of them Spielberg cast without audition. Vanessa Lee Chester, he saw her in another, not Harriet the Spy, a different movie. Met her, and then cast her from that. Julianne Moore, he cast after seeing her in The Fugitive. Vince Vaughn, he cast after seeing him in Swingers.
Sure.
So, he did that. However, the producers for Kelly had another actress they wanted in the role before Vanessa Lee Chester got it. Mila Kunis.
Interesting. Okay.
She would have been really young at the
was,
time.
I was going to say, because she was only 16 when she booked 70 show. She may not even have been 16 when she booked that 70 show.
She was underage.
Because she lied about her age.
I know. I probably should have looked up how old she was in 97. But I think she's like only a few years older than I am. So she's probably like 11, maybe 12. Which is just a year or two younger than Vanessa Lee Chester was at the time. She was 13. The other one, Peter Ludlow, the InGen guy played by Arliss Howard, was originally offered to Gary Oldman.
Interesting. I see it.
I do too.
It's that villainous, slimy... Yeah, I can see Gary Oldman pulling that off.
Yeah. When we were watching the scene where Dieter gets murked.
Yes.
You know how I pointed out, I was like, that is absolutely Northern California up in the Redwoods?
Yes.
I was right.
Of course you were.
There were some other scenes from this movie shot a lot closer to home. And I'm not just talking about the in-studio stuff at Universal.
I was going to say a lot closer to home.
They did shoot at Universal Hollywood, which is only like a mile and a half from us.
They did not shoot in the fucking park.
What park?
The North Hollywood park.
No.
Okay.
No. The dangle over the cliff scene, they built that cliff on the side of one of the parking garages at Universal Hollywood.
Oh my god. That's beautiful.
Which I fucking love that. Because, like, the crane they needed to do it was, like, too big for the stages. I think they did do some stuff in a soundstage and had to cut holes in the roof and shit. But they built the cliffside and dangled trailers.
God, can you imagine how awful parking must have been for that, like, 3 weeks?
Can you imagine working, like, at the ticket booth at Universal Studios and driving into work and seeing that thing hanging over your parking garage?
Yeah, you know they did it on the employee lot.
The other one, I should have caught it immediately, although 30 years changes the town. San Diego. Did San Diego look at all familiar to you?
No. I knew it didn't look like San Diego.
They shot that right outside Burbank Town Center.
Oh my god.
You know the mall we frequent? I'm pretty sure when they do the fake Godzilla bit, I'm pretty sure that's San Fernando Boulevard.
Oh my god. No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. They closed it down and made it look like they were doing road construction so no one knew what they were doing.
Perfect.
But yeah, they shot that in fucking downtown Burbank.
Hell yeah. Now I want to ask my friends that lived in this area at the time if they noticed.
Fucking ask them. Yes, ask if they remember fall 96. They were shooting fall December 96. Last time out with Jaws, I mentioned that it had the widest release to that time with like 580 screens or something like that. It was to date the widest release of any feature of all time at 3,281 theaters.
Wow. Theaters, not screens.
Theaters is what it tells me.
Dang, okay.
So that's like 7 times the screens of Jaws in just 20 years.
Yeah. Well, it could be exponentially more, because if we're going from screens to theaters?
We weren't quite at the megaplex yet
Okay.
at that time. Like, they were starting to come into play, but when I was that age, our local theater was maybe 4 screens. And it would probably play on 1, maybe 2, if it was like an 8-screen theater.
I'm trying to remember when I was that age, because I told the story about how Jurassic Park was the first movie my parents took me to see in theaters, right? So I don't remember it. I may have gone, like, my parents may have taken me to this.
I think it might have been this one, because you would have been 4.
The thing is, I distinctly remember the guy getting torn in half in the toilet, which is the first one.
Because dude does get torn in half in this one.
He does. But I'm trying to remember, like, other times that I've been to the movies, and our local theater was, like, 6 screens. So it was a big deal if there were, like, 2 screens playing the same thing.
Yeah, it didn't happen a lot back then, from what I recall. Again, I was also, like, a child, so I was looking at the movie that I wanted to see, and whatever else was on that marquee, I didn't give a shit about.
As opposed to, like, when we went to see Avengers Endgame, and it was, like, every fucking screen at our megaplex.
Yeah. It was like 6 of the 16 screens were that movie, and then 4 were whatever other blockbuster came out to counteract that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little different now than it was then, but it's just the amount of change in 20 years. The last little bit I have is more about Vanessa Lee Chester.
Okay.
So-
was she a menace?
No.
Aw.
Well, kind of. So, you know the scene that jumped out as just not to her character?
The gymnastics
The
scene?
gymnastics scene, when she does like the wheelie thing around the bar and then kicks the raptor in the face.
Yeah.
I just thought, that's so out of character. David Koepp and Steven Spielberg really let kids take over. Because apparently on set, she kept begging to do something. She just wanted to do a stunt of some sort and not just be a kid off to the side. And she had a gymnastics background. So they let her do that. And I believe that was really her doing the stunt.
Okay. So, I kind of understand where that would come from. I assume the 13-year-old didn't read the book. She may have. I don't know. But the little boy falls out of the hide and gets into the cage that they had to protect them from dinosaurs. And the velociraptors roll him away. He does not get eaten. They do rescue him. But there is an actual stunt for a child in this.
Yeah, not that.
And of course, the little girl, Kelly, she does actually ride on the back of a motorcycle and shoot a dinosaur. So there's also that.
They were gonna do a scene with a motorcycle chase with velociraptors and ended up reusing it in Jurassic World.
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, that was originally conceived for this film instead.
Okay.
I think that's all I had in my notes. Do you have anything else you wanted to touch on, or you want to let us know what you thought about the book?
I don't really have anything else I want to touch on. This is, like, just something that's exciting for you and I specifically because we're nerds. But this copy, the copy that I got from the Burbank Public Library of The Lost World, I thought it was weird because they had a little sticker that they put in the book that says...
Does it say soon to be a major motion picture?
It does not. They have a little sticker that, like, classifies it. And I noticed that it doesn't have a death date for Michael Crichton. And I was like, he died pretty early. When was this book published? And I checked, and this book, the edition that the Burbank Public Library has, is a first edition.
Damn.
From 1995, when it was originally published, and that's why there's no death date for Michael Crichton. And that is just something that was very fun for me. There's also really cool... I can't remove the protective end cover because the library has it to protect them. But there is really cool little illustrations that's basically like the map of Site B of Isla Sorna.
Oh, so this is a fantasy novel and not a sci-fi.
It's not... Listen.
I'm listening.
And there's like a little map, and then there's little drawings of all of the dinosaurs that are in the novel, and explanations of where they can be found on the island. It's really cool art. If you get a chance to look at it, it's pretty cool. I did not enjoy this as much as I enjoyed Jurassic Park, but I did definitely enjoy it more than Jaws.
Okay.
It wasn't as compulsive a read for me as Jaws was.
Yeah, because Jaws you couldn't put down, even though you didn't really like the writing.
Yeah. I like Michael Crichton's writing. He doesn't do a bad job with women. He loves him an implied relationship with a research assistant, which is a little, But, yeah, I mean, it's about fucking dinosaurs. Dinosaurs eat people, even if they didn't eat as many people as I wanted them to.
You're a woman of simple tastes.
His writing can be a little dense, and the first, quarter of this book is a lot of setting up all of the action that happens later, so he kind of front-loads all of his theory and philosophy.
And then he takes you to the fireworks factory.
Yes. Yeah. The copy that I have is 393 pages, but, yeah, it's easily digestible, broken up into different chunks. I think he does the same thing that he did with Jurassic Park, where it's the configurations of chaos theory, like iterations, configurations, etc. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars, as opposed to Jurassic Park, which got 4.5.
Okay.
Did you like the movie?
It's alright. I believe the only sequel Spielberg did that's not an Indiana Jones movie. And you can tell he doesn't like doing sequels, because there's added pressure on him. Where the last one was not an original, but it was, a debut into film for the franchise, and it made $1 bazillion. And then now there's that pressure on him to do it again with the same, story beats, the same characters, same setting, and all that. And it's fucking hard, especially when the money comes into play with the stuff that detracted from it, like the product placement. And I think it was a bad choice to put San Diego in the film. If the film ended in the helicopter. For the record, I do like it. The trailer scene alone makes it worth watching. It's an incredible, tense piece of filmmaking. I gave it a 3-star. It would have been a 4 if it ended at the helicopter.
I think that it has all the hallmarks of schlocky sequels that we get later. All the hallmarks are, of course, elevated because it is Spielberg and he's pretty good at it. But it kind of has the echo of, where we're gonna see shitty sequels go in the future.
Yeah, so, I'm pretty sure we talked about it at the time, but Jurassic Park, the original, is considered, the turning point for CGI. And I would say Lost World is where it really turned. Because the technology hadn't really advanced much in 4 years, but the people using it knew how to use it better. There's still a lot of full animatronics. Both T-Rexes are 9-ton animatronics.
And they look incredible.
They look fucking amazing.
They don't look as good as the first one, but they still look pretty good.
Even the compies. There will be shots where they're CG, and then close-ups where they're animatronics. And that always has been what sells the truth of it. It's the same thing I talked about with Jaws, where you can tell it's a model, except there's that one shot of a real fucking shark, and it sells it in your memory. You remember, no, I saw a real shark. That whole time it's a real shark, when you remember the film. Same thing here, I saw something real, not made by computers. Those are real dinosaurs. It sells it better. But a lot more of them, percentage-wise, than Jurassic Park in The Lost World were CG, including that last shot where you introduce, a pterodactyl shows up and, starts setting up Jurassic Park 3.
I was going to say, you pointed out that that's like the CGI money shot, and it is easily the worst shot of the fucking film.
Because it's also daylight. Like,
Yeah.
what helped the CG so much in the first one was that so much of it was at night. And you could hide the seams at night a lot better.
I think the timing, the first movie basically takes place over like 36 hours.
Yeah.
If that long.
This one takes place over like 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I think that hurts it too, is because you kind of start losing your suspension of disbelief.
A little bit. Like, I don't think everything on the island in the movie is pretty well paced still.
They're only on the island for... I mean, Richard Levine is on the island for a while, but our main guys are only on the island for like, again, like 36 hours. It's very tight.
Yeah, it's a little bit longer in the movie, but it still works. The island stuff still works for me. It just, that last act, Spielberg needed to show some restraint and let someone else do Dinosaur in the City. Yeah. And, a year later, the shitty New York Godzilla came out. Like, he really needed to just cut that end off, let Matthew Broderick take the heat, or no, Roland Emmerich, Broderick didn't direct, let Roland Emmerich take the heat for shitty Godzilla, and then in like 10 years, come back and do Jurassic Park 3 in San Diego. Like, give yourself time away from it.
Selfishly, can you imagine in our modern world, and again, we have not seen the sequels to Jurassic World, but the revelation of Jurassic World 2 being, holy shit, there's dinosaurs in the rest of the world for the first time. Can you imagine the impact that would have had if we didn't get one shitty 5-minute scene of a T-Rex rampaging in San Diego?
It's not even 5 minutes, it's 20 minutes. It's the third act of the movie. Oh, God. And it's so tacked on.
Yeah.
It's so tacked on.
It really is.
It's just, it really sells the film short. Yeah. And it's just unlike what you expected from Spielberg at that time. Because this was his first movie after 1993, which was Jurassic Park and Schindler's List.
Oh, God.
He made 2 of his best films in his career, and then took 2-3 years off, and then shot this in 96. Like, he's better than that. He's better than the San Diego bit. It's gonna stick in my craw. It really is. Because it's, like, that whole bit is just cheap jokes. Like, David Koepp himself is the guy who gets eaten in the blockbuster. The dinosaur drinking from the pool, the dinosaur in my backyard, the Japanese tourists running, and in Japanese he says, "I left Tokyo because of this shit."
Okay, that's kind of funny.
It's kind of funny that it's not subtitled, but it's still like the lowest hanging fruit of a joke.
Yeah.
And then it's a car chase with a dinosaur, and the hunting bit, that kill at the end is wonderful. Put that on the island.
Yeah.
Just put that on the island. Just do it like the book did it. It's just... It really hurts the movie for me. It's still watchable. It's, like I said, it's worth it for the trailer scene. Some of the best, like, tension in film is in that scene, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is another case where... Rare for Spielberg, but I think this is a case where the book is better than the movie.
Yeah. This one and Ready Player One. Oh, wait, no. Both of them were shit.
No,
what
they
was
were
the other
both
one?
trash.
What's the other one where the book was better than the movie for him? Not Color Purple, because that movie's fantastic.
I was going to say not Color Purple, not BFG.
Oh, no, BFG. I did not like that movie.
I feel like it's like a 1.5 versus 1.
Yeah. Well, I remember you finishing recording with Jurassic Park, the first one, and then going and rereading the book. You said you enjoyed The Lost World more than you enjoyed Jaws. So why don't we stick with Crichton for a bit? And let's step away from Spielberg's adaptations of his novels. Let's go a little bit older in his repertoire. Back to, I think, 1980.
What bullshit are you going to have me read?
I'm going to have you read a little book called Congo, which was adapted to film in 1995 starring Tim Curry.
Can I give the tiniest little spoiler?
Please do.
I saw Congo when I was like 7 years old. And all I remember is the fucking bullshit giant ass diamonds.
Man, if you thought the Lost World adaptation was nothing like the book, I'm pretty sure they didn't even read Congo when they made that movie.
Beautiful.
So we are in for a treat next time out.
Excellent.
But until then, you can find us in our social media accounts in the link tree in the description below. There you can also find our email address if you'd like to write in, give us suggestions for future episodes of the pod, comments, complaints, things we fucked up. You can also check out our high school mixtape. Some other fun stuff is in that link tree in the description below. Also, wherever you're listening to this, give us a like, give us a rating, give us a review, because we have 3 in the 2 years we've been doing this.
Yeah.
Thanks, actual real world friends that did that. But yeah, that would be a cool thing for you to do. But until next time, I'm Billy Beck.
I'm Cody Beck.
And this has been The Treatment. Oh, son of a bitch! You're never gonna know how to end this shit.